To the New Year, New Me Live. This is also concluding the free bootcamp that we just uploaded the final video on data impact and visualization that you can go watch. It's about a 2-hour video that will really enlighten you on communication techniques and various other things like that. I'm here for probably about an hour, maybe a little bit longer. So I just wanted to say welcome everyone to the live. If you have any questions or anything about the free boot camp, paid boot camp, anything like that, I am definitely down to answer them. I will be uploading the assignment links for analytical patterns and for KPIs and for I'm a little bit behind on that. The holidays got me a little bit, right? I was only able to operate at about 80% capacity during the holidays because I wanted to party a little bit. But anyways, I'm so grateful that you guys are here. I love everyone's energy. I know that there is a lot of power to be here. Yeah, Hawkplex, what's up? How's it going? Inceptipede, how's it going? Yeah, y'all are freaking awesome. I'm really happy that we are going to be starting 2025 together. We're going to be, if you guys have any questions about anything, data engineering, data science, AI, ML, freaking the free bootcamp, the paid bootcamp, all of it. Like I'm here to answer any of y'all's questions, and yeah, this is a good one. Someone saying, how long will the free bootcamp be available for us to access? Till January 31st. You have till the end of the month. You have 30 days. So, yep, get cracking. Get cracking. Yeah, happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year. I love all the love. I love all of y'all. You guys are freaking amazing. I know that it's going to be a really amazing year. 45 squared, right? So it's the only square year that we're going to experience in our entire lives. So we got to enjoy it while we can, right? So it's a freaking miraculous one. And yeah, I mean, what are y'all's New Year's resolutions, right? I think I have a couple, right? One of mine is to eat better. I feel like I want to gain a little bit of weight. I'm kind of a skinny guy, right? So I'm trying to bulk up a little bit, become like a swole daddy, you know. And but I'm also wondering if you guys have any feedback or any ideas for 2025 on what I should do on YouTube, right? I think that would be another great thing. Someone's saying, how can I access the free bootcamp? I think that's what that's saying. Yeah. If you go to bootcamp.techcreator.io right here. Oh, there we go. There, freaking. How can I access the free bootcamp? If you go bootcamp.techcreator.io, that's gonna be the best one. Or just go to my YouTube channel, Data with Zach. Data with Zach has a playlist, and that's where it all depends on how serious you want to be about it, right? If you want to like just watch the videos, then go to my YouTube channel. If you want to like watch the videos and do all the homework and join the community, which is the way that you actually should do it. It honestly is the best way to do it, right? Could you please extend access for the free bootcamp till March? No. Are you doing any videos on AI and data engineering? Yeah, I definitely want to do more videos on AI and data engineering. I have some interesting videos on like RAG and other things like that. Yeah, Kithara, if you're saying access free bootcamp till March, just do it in January. Just do it now. Like spend 10 hours a week. Yeah, that's what it takes. 10 hours a week, and I bet you have 10 hours a week. I don't even know the beginning of Apache Spark or Databricks, so some entry level material could be great. Yeah, there's my intro. I have an intro Apache Spark video that is in the bootcamp. It's pretty good. It's not completely intro because I just hate doing like, here's how to like set everything up, right? I just hate making that content. Like it's not like, because guess what? That's not a good use of my time, right? That's where I need like another educator on this freaking platform and on this channel to do that stuff, to teach the 101, to teach the basics. Because one, like I have no energy to teach the basics because it just is like, guess what? There's a freaking 5 billion million trillion data engineers out there who can teach the basics. Like there is, and like it's not something that like it feels like not like the complete best use of my time. So if you are someone who is interested in being a creator and teaching the basics and joining me with doing more of these free boot camps, it'd be great. Spreading goodwill. So all the homeworks within the boot camp are due by the 31st of January, 100%. If you do not submit by the 31st of January, you will not be certified and you will not pass go and you will not collect $200. So, well, you don't get $200 anyways, but like, that's just like you know what I mean? Hey, Maze, you made data engineer fun. High hopes for 2025. Also, project-based learning for 2025 would be good. Yep. Will the GitHub repo be accessible after January 31st? Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens. That's a good maybe. What's tech with Carlos, bro? Yeah, happy New Year, man. That's great. I've had a quick question for someone who is a software engineer and wants to switch to data engineering. Is it a good idea in 25 thinking about the supply and demand? If so, please update your views. Why not? Like I hate these kind of questions in some regards, because guess what? You should do what you enjoy. If you're just like trying to be like the people who, okay, if you want to get the absolute most dollars, you should be getting a master's degree in statistics and then becoming a machine learning engineer, and quit fucking around with data, quit fucking around with software, and do that, right? That's my honest opinion. But if otherwise, if you're just trying to like get a career that you enjoy, data engineering, software engineering, like whatever, it's great, right? So, are new videos from bootcamp over, or new content still coming up? The absolute last video of the bootcamp just released today. Did you get a new camera? No, I did not. This is all, I just have good lighting today. Like yeah, that's the main thing. Thank you to you and your team for providing free bootcamp to us. Yeah, for sure. This is mainly 3 people. Like as me, then my editor Anya, and then Matali, with 3 people who kind of grinded it out. It's freaking awesome. Like, I have masters in big data. Congratulations. You probably have a good job then. Say here. Happy New Year. Yeah, Kumar. Happy New Year to you too. It's gonna be a good year. Both watch time certification assignments on watch time needed to get certified. Yes. I don't give a fuck, right? That's fine. You don't get certified then. You have to do all of it. Sorry. Yeah, like the certification is supposed to mean something. So you need to submit everything. That's how it works. Like, I'm not like trying to be like if you do 70%, then everybody wins and everyone gets a participation trophy. No, it means something, right? It's like you did all of it. So I don't know. I'm being a little bit spicy today, I guess. It's a new year. I gotta enter the new year with the right energy, you know. Carmen, happy new year. Happy new year to you too. I love the energy. I love it, right? What are your goals? Mazak, what are your goals 2025? I want to double my business. The main way I know I need to double my business is I need to do more cohorts. And the way I need to do more cohorts is I need to get more instructors, because I can't just do it all myself, because doing it all myself fucking sucks, right? I would love to join your paid bootcamp, but the price is too high. Please help. No. So other goals. I want to get more fit. I want to get back to where I was. I was really shredded. Like back in like February, March of last year, like insanely shredded. I was at like 9% body fat, and I kind of want to get back there. It's hard to maintain though. Roughly, how long will it take to finish the course if I started today? Depends on how long you're going to do it. Hi, Zach. Are you going to delete the bootcamp videos on January 31st, right? Yep, 100%. Any plans on joining corporate again? Fuck no. I was thinking about it. I had a interview lined up in December that I stepped out of. I was actually going to be interviewing for a principal at Meta. I was going to be a principal engineer at Meta. That job pays like $1.3 million a year, by the way. And but they wanted me to do a code screen. So then I was like, I thought it was just going to be on site, but they wanted me to do a code screen. So I was like, nope, I will not do that. Bit of a different question. Do you have any suggestions for content to guide people on content creation? So I have a platform called LinkedIn Expert. Let me put it on the screen. So if you go linkedinexpert.io, that would be freaking what you want to do. That is it's like $250, but it teaches you everything that you want, that you would ever want to do, right? So that's what I'd recommend if you're going to be doing content creation. But it all depends. That only covers like LinkedIn and written content. It doesn't cover like video content or shorts or long form or anything like that, right? How many assignments are left? It's a good question. There should be so the ones that I haven't uploaded the link for, there should be applying analytical patterns, KPIs and experimentation, data impact and visualization, and data pipeline maintenance. So if you're completely up to date, you have the other homeworks are there. They're in the repo, but the links have not been put up yet. But there's 4 left that you need to submit. Let's see here. Despite of watching full videos, some videos says I watched around 15%. How would this affect the grading? Sucks to be you, bro. I don't know. Like freaking like you pause the video or something. There's bad time tracking. I don't know. Like, how much did you pay for that domain? Which domain? Like, Zach, which DE projects are you working on besides education? Like, I don't just work on DE, dude. Like, I don't know if you know, but like freaking I do a lot of other stuff in my world, right? I kind of do a lot of other freaking full stack stuff in my world. I do a lot of just different things in my world, right? Where it's like DE projects. Like I just freaking like I spend an unbelievable amount of time on data engineering stuff that like guess what? I like to do other things. I don't know if you know. Like I'm someone who likes to do other stuff, right? So the main thing I'm working on is Tech Creator. Tech Creator is the big project I'm working on. That is the big it's going to be my platform. So Data Expert actually sits on top of Tech Creator, and it'll be good. When you drop the free bootcamp, yeah, it goes away end of January. After doing the free bootcamp, I'm willing to enter the paid one. Can you bring the main difference between the two? The paid bootcamp is in the cloud. The paid bootcamp offers mentorship. The paid bootcamp is using state-of-the-art tech, right? You're going to be doing everything in Iceberg and Spark and Snowflake and DBT. And it's going to be the paid bootcamp offers a capstone project. The paid bootcamp had, what else? There's more. The paid bootcamp offers you free infrastructure, so you can deploy stuff to the cloud if you want to do that, right? So yeah, I think that'd be the main things. Are Asians and Indians getting discriminated from DE jobs because there's so many of them? Is it easier for white people to get a job because of that? Like, I don't think so. I don't know. Like, I think that's kind of like, in my experience, no. Like, if it was easier for white people to get it, then freaking there would be more white people than Indian people, right? I don't know, because Indians are what, like 0.6% of America, right? And white people are like 60% of America. And in my experience, when I've worked in big tech, right, there's like me or maybe like one other white guy on the team. And then there's like 10 to 15 Indian people and Indian and Chinese people. So it's like, I don't know. I think this is like, that's a weird perspective. I feel like that, like, in some ways, I think that like big tech prioritizes people who are on H-1B, and they prioritize those people and they want to hire those people because they can't job hop. It's harder for them to job hop, right? So I think that it's kind of my perspective is, if anything, it's actually flipped from what you're saying there. The domain name is LinkedIn Expert. Oh, LinkedIn Expert was like, it was like cheap. It was like $40. The ones who complete this free bootcamp get the paid newsletter subscription for a year, right? Yes, 100%. If you get certified, you get a paid newsletter for a year. 100%. That's exactly right. Like, I'm excited to gift those. Right now, I think there's like 200 or 300 people who are actually going to finish, right? Which is about right, because 30,000 people signed up, right? 30,000 people signed up, and we are going to have 300 people who finish. So it's like 1%, right? Can I join the paid bootcamp if I don't complete the free bootcamp? Of course. Why not? If you're down to give me freaking $2,500, give me $2,500 and I'll let you in 100%. I really appreciate all the effort you put in the bootcamp material as someone planning to enter DE field. Yeah, for sure. Do we have to do both the assignments of both tracks to get the certificate? Yes. I changed my mind on it. I don't want to offer 2 certificates. Sorry. Which IT field have more white people to easy go in? What a weird question. It's a like software. I don't know. It's like, I have no idea. It really depends on where you live, right? Zach, are you living in the Bay Area? I'm in a hotel in the Bay Area right now. I'm looking for an apartment. I'm going to be moving into an apartment in the next probably couple days. It's really stressful right now for me. Like, I'm like in this freaking like up in the air. What are your thoughts on that whole Elon controversy of him endorsing H-1B visas? I think it's the right thing to do. I think that the world should be more competitive. I know that like Americans are freaking out about it because it does kind of depress wages a little bit, because the fact that it opens up the world to a wider, more competitive field, right? And it makes the market more employer first instead of employee first, because like now the market is not the US, but the market is the entire world. And there's definitely people in other places in the world who are willing to work for less than Americans, right? And so there's that perspective on it. But I don't know. From the position I'm in and from what I think is best for the world, I don't know if this is necessarily what's best for like the average American, but what's best for the world is this, because then we get the most talented people and all that stuff, right? Will unit testing with Databricks notebooks be covered in the infrastructure track? Yes. Just yes, 100%. That's definitely going to be something that's going to be covered. Yeah, for sure. That's going to be like in the advanced Databricks week. There's going to be like a whole day on like testing, right? Databricks notebooks are one thing, right? How much are you planning to pay for your apartment? Just wondering rent prices. So I want to get a 2-bedroom. My budget is I won't pay more than $7,000 a month for a 2-bedroom. I'm hoping for closer to 5 though, somewhere between $5,000 to $7,000. And I want a really nice place, like some sort of like penthouse 30th floor sort of thing, right? Won't Trump not like that? I mean, Trump is unpredictable, right? So I don't know. Like he's someone who is willing to listen to Elon because Elon did a lot to get him elected, right? But then any plans for machine learning engineering or MLOps content in the future? Yeah, I need another person though. I'm not just gonna pull that out of my ass, right? Like freaking like that stuff. Like I like to teach stuff from a place of deep expertise. I'm not just gonna be like, oh, I learned this today and I'm gonna teach you guys. Like that's not how it works, right? Like I want to. So like that's where I need freaking more people involved, right? To bring these to reality, right? That's the whole idea, right? What is the new trend in data engineering? Like platforms, Iceberg. I feel like Iceberg is Iceberg is the new old trend, right? That like is really exciting, right? I would say that's going to be the big ones. I would say. Hi Zach, how do you learn Python and SQL? I went to college and got a computer science degree. Like sometimes people, I think they undervalue that. They undervalue the computer science degree. But oh yeah, just letting everyone know. So if you want to join the boot camp, there's 10 seats here. So like if you use this code New Year 30, you can get 30% off the boot camp or the subscription product. But there's only 10. Do you like Elon more since you bought the Cybertruck? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like Cybertruck's all right. There's some minuses to the Cybertruck. The Cybertruck, the range on the Cybertruck is terrible, right? You can only go like 200 miles and then you have to charge again. And then it takes like 40 minutes to charge. So it's like, if you're doing long road trips, fucking painful. I agree with that point of beneficial for the whole world. The major negative market I see is the exploitation of cheap labor potentially by corporations. Yeah. But the thing is like, there's always a balancing act here, right? Because then if big corporations are exploiting people too much, then people can just go on their own and be consultants, and then they can split their time. And if they split their time, they can be overemployed and and then they can make a lot more money. And that will push people away from W-2 and push people towards 1099. And that's going to be the possible. Is there any possibility that you don't remove the videos for people working and having it tough, working at their own pace? Your videos have been insanely helpful and impactful, but probably, extending it or something. 10 hours a week for 4 weeks. If you can't commit to that over the next 4 weeks, like you don't have the priority. That's it. You don't prioritize this, right? And so that's great. How much you pay for the truck, if I might ask? $110,000. So yeah, it was a lot. Do you see opportunities for new ML and AI engineers? Yeah, there's a massive. That's like one of the best, freaking most exciting fields to be in, right? I mean, that's why I freaking bought AIexpert.io, right? And I freaking I'm continuing to do stuff, right? But just remember, everyone, we got this New Year 30. So this is there's 10. This is available for 10 people. So if you want to get in for the boot camp, you can get in for a reasonable discount. Obviously, you only have like a couple days for the boot camp. Boot camp sales end in 2 days, so you got 2 more days to do it, right? Hi Zach, what's the advice will you give to an aspirant who is complete beginner in learning data engineering? Just learn how data impacts decisions, because like a lot of data engineers, they freaking really focus on like the pipelines, right? And it's really more about like how to change decisions, right? What if you have terminal cancer, so 10 hours per week isn't always available? If you have terminal cancer, why are you learning data engineering? Like, aren't you gonna die? Not to be that guy, but like, you get what I mean? So without completing the assignments, can I complete the videos in 40 hours? Yes. Especially if you watch everything at 2x. If you watch everything at 2x, you're gonna freaking easily finish in that time. Do you think compute could get cheaper than storage, maybe with quantum changing DE skill set? I don't think quantum is going to make compute cheaper because you still have the same amount of information that needs to be processed. All quantum does is it makes some algorithms dramatically cheaper, but most algorithms in quantum are a wash. They're actually a wash compared to classical computing. So like, I don't believe that. I think that there is a side of it that's like, not quantum's not the savior. There is a side of it where compute could get cheaper on GPUs, right, and faster and cheaper on GPUs versus CPUs. There's a side that is there, right, but there is I don't know if it's ever going to get cheaper than storage, because storage is really cheap. Really cheap. What is the due date about the data engineer bootcamp? So the paid one, if you want to join the paid one, you got to join in the next 2 days. If you want to finish the free one, you have till the end of the month. Looking at the free bootcamp, it felt like a lot for me. So I was wondering if I'll be able to complete the bootcamp or not. Do you think I should study for a few months and then take the bootcamp? Well, you have a month to finish it. So if it's a lot for you, then you might miss this opportunity. Sorry about that. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm here to answer any of y'all's questions. You know, data engineering, data science. I'm here for another freaking another like probably 30 minutes to an hour. So remember that we do have a sale going on right now. So if you want in on either the subscription product, you can test out the paid material, or you can join the paid bootcamp. 30% off right here. There's only 10, but actually there's only 7 now. So like because people just keep buying. So bro, how is your weed detox going, etc.? Great question. I think there's a couple things. I have not done any cannabis since September. It's been awesome. It was really hard, very difficult that first month. And my commitment was to not do it until today. Right. I was like September till today, right? And then it was great. I tried to get off Adderall too, but that was a mistake. I quit taking Adderall for like 3 weeks, and then things got difficult. How much is the paid boot camp? Well, if you use the discount code, right? If you use this discount code right here, New Year 30. So if you use this New Year 30 discount code, you can get in for 1,700. So 1,700. Is there a monthly subscription, or is it a one-time for the bootcamp? There is a monthly subscription, but you get the new material on a delay. So if you want to do a monthly subscription, you'll get the new bootcamp material in March. So that's how it works. Can we watch all the free bootcamp videos after this month? Probably not. I don't know. Like, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna figure out what to do with them after, right? When is the next paid bootcamp? Hopefully in April or May. So that'd be the idea. Are we going to have the opportunity for the free bootcamp again? Maybe. Like, I don't know. Like, why should I do this again? Right? It's like YouTube. Here's a perspective for you guys, right? So YouTube paid me $1,500, right, for the free bootcamp. $1,500, right? One student in the paid bootcamp pays me $1,700 to $2,500, and that's one student. So like, part of it is like, there's goodwill here. Yeah, sure, there's goodwill, and I know some of y'all can't afford $1,700, but a lot of y'all freaking can. A lot of y'all are paying $20,000 a year for college, or $30,000 or $50,000 a year for college. And then when you see my $1,700 bootcamp, it's like, ooh, too expensive. And it's like, no, it's not. It's actually more. It's way more affordable than colleges. So, Zach, why Adderall over Dexedrine? Dexedrine is not available in the U.S. That's why. There's Vyvanse. Vyvanse is very close to Dexedrine. I don't really like Vyvanse because it lasts too long. I don't like it. It's just in your system for like 10 hours, right? So yeah. Let's see here. Someone's asking about the analytics engineer role. Where's that? This one. Do you think that the role of analytics engineer will become more prominent over the coming years? Yeah, that's why there's the analytics track in the bootcamp, right? In my paid bootcamp, right? Data engineers mostly work on data pipelines and data engineering side of things. How do you think they can show their impact on business problem solving and decision making as they are contributing to solve major problems? They just need to be more in the design phase, right? If they're in the design phase of stuff, they're going to be able to do a lot more, right? So definitely, that's a big thing. So there's going to be just letting everyone know this New Year 30, you can get 30% off the subscription product or the paid bootcamp. They are both there, right? Is the paid bootcamp self-paced? Can we enroll anytime? The yearly subscription product works, but you can't get access to self-paced. I only do live bootcamp, right? And then you can freaking go with live bootcamp, and then you can get the self-paced stuff in March. So what's the difference between your analytics bootcamp in the fall versus the analytics track in your paid bootcamp? They're very similar. They Snowflake and DBT covered a lot of that. There is a little bit more Airflow, a little bit more, a lot more like architecture stuff around Iceberg that I'm going to be covering in the first week. We aren't covering as much data modeling stuff. The data modeling stuff is bonus material that you can like cover as well, right? Is the bootcamp zero knowledge to hero? I hate that phrase, by the way. Zero to hero is like, no, right? I just never will ever do that. Ever, right? So I hate that phrase. I will never use that phrase. In my boot camp, you need to have 2 years of experience, roughly speaking, 1 to 2 years of experience. Oh, hi, Sep. How's it going? Sep's amazing. I met Sep in Australia, and she was a vibe. I've seen some users have recorded your free boot camps and distributing them. Anything I can do to help expose them? Yeah, I mean, obviously they're distributing them because guess what? It's good content. And I figured that much was going to happen, right? And so my perspective is that's probably what's going to happen. And then y'all are going to like have these like secret stores of like, people do that with my paid content too. So it's like, it is what it is. I'm working on how to fix that, right? But yeah, I mean, they are breaking the law. That is not something that I allowed people to do because they freaking screen record and they do all that shit, and it is what it is. But you know, it's still building my brand, right? Because people are in my space, right? So did your personal relationship change when you decided to quit corporate and start a business? Yes. I am different people in my life now, just fundamentally different people in my life, right? Like there's like it's like you do have to surround yourself by people who are doing stuff that is like you, right? So that's my perspective on it, right? So yeah, like I mean, you have the whole thing of like who are what am I trying to say here? People who are like wanting to work the 9 to 5 and wanting to like build that stuff up, and then there's people who don't, right? And if you are building a business, like it's just a very different way to go, right? So also, how much is the subscription? It's $1,500 a year, and then you get access to everything. It's the all access subscription, or freaking you can do $200 a month. That's the other way to do it. See here. Great conversation. Thank you, Carmen. I'm trying my best. I'm trying to build this stuff up and trying to figure out stuff. How did you get into data engineering? Did you study in school or learn on the job? So I don't know if you know, but like they still don't really have data engineering in college, right? That is just not a thing. It's freaking there's no degree for it. That's something that's happening. There's actually universities that are talking with me about building a degree, building like a relevant like master's degree for masters in data engineering degree, so that like, and I'm like, that'd be wild, right? If I like build that curricula for people. But like data engineering, I learned it after getting, so if you get a computer science degree, you're going to be very well on your way to being a good data engineer, because that's like a big part of the journey is freaking that. But then I got a job first doing like Tableau and data analytics stuff. And then I got a junior data engineering job at a company called Teradata. And that's where I kind of got my first foot in. And I got a job at Facebook a little bit after that. And then I've been, big tech for a long time. Dextrogen is commonly prescribed, but doesn't seem to have been banner in the US for some with ADHD. It has less side effects than Adderall. Yeah, because dextroamphetamine is the better side. I don't like levoamphetamine. I'm with you on that 100%. What are the similarities and differences between DE and backend development? Well, they're different, like mostly different. The backend is all about freaking building REST APIs and servers and freaking unit tests and integration tests and all that stuff. Whereas data engineer is more about building pipelines that impacts decision making, and they work with very different stakeholders, right? Where like the software engineers generally report to like a PM, and then that PM kind of like guides the decision making processes about like which features to build. Whereas the data engineer is going to be in some sort of like data team stack, usually with like a data scientist and like a data analyst, and they kind of like do that stuff, right? What was the adjustment like at your first job at Teradata? I don't know what this means. Like, I needed to learn Hadoop and mostly Hadoop, but I already knew the rest of it because it was like data engineering 10 years ago was all in Java. There was no Python, there was no freaking SQL even. You had to do everything in Java. So like it's been very different, right? Is it possible in this market to become a junior data engineer as someone in his 30s? Would age be a factor regarding this? Ageism is real. It's real. I think it's still possible, for sure. Still possible. I think that you could definitely get a junior role and build up, like, because they know that you're going to be more serious, right? And that like you are like really trying to do that stuff, right? Unconventional question. I'm very interested in data science and data engineering. I am also going for a PhD. Which research overlap did you find in your experience that is interesting to research? Just do data science. I don't know. Like I'm not a PhD guy. I'm not a research guy. Are cloud and DE connected? Yes. Any plans to come to Europe this year in a conference or something? If yes, when? I don't. I might do Helsinki Data Week next like fall or summer. I might do that. Yeah, I'm a freshman in computer science. How should I plan to become a data engineer? Learn SQL, learn Python, focus on those, and then freaking yeah. Are Python and SQL the only skills needed for the paid bootcamp? That will get you really far. Yeah, that will get you probably far enough. Like you might need to know a little bit more about Spark, a little bit of Kafka, things like that. That would be great. But like otherwise, like yeah, Python and SQL is really enough. Like the other stuff, like you can learn as you go. Like what is your prediction about the role of data engineering in relationship with AI engineering? I'm reading Chip's book. So like data engineering is going to become a lot more about unstructured and semi-structured data, and like we're going to need to do a lot more stuff with like RAG and building out RAG models and generating better decision making trees and all that stuff. Like because I feel like AI and ML are going to be do that, right? Like and then like because data engineering is all about enabling better decision making, and AI is just going to allow us to do more automated decision making with like AI agents. And so we need to be better at creating high quality data that we're feeding into the AI on both sides, right? Whether we are creating more fine tuned models with our companies like, private data, or we're doing something with RAG and we're injecting private data into the prompt. Both sides of that would need to have really high quality data, and looking at things like refining the retrieval process, things like that are all pieces of the puzzle that I would highly recommend looking into as you're kind of like building this stuff up. And because I think that you'll find that that's going to be a big part of the journey. So like, don't forget that, right? Like, why are you taking Adderall? ADHD? Yep, 100%. I was diagnosed with ADHD 13 years ago. Will you ever come back to Utah and participate in an event here? I did a couple months ago. I went to some sort of Lehigh data meetup sort of thing. What does the schedule look like with the paid boot camp? We meet Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3 days a week. Meet 3 days a week from 6 to 8 p.m. That's the required time. Then there's other bonus time, like there's like TA time and speaker series time, but that time is not required. And so, yeah, so 6 to 8 Pacific, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, starting on the 7th of January. We have a kickoff on the 6th. Yeah, but everyone, I just want to call out one more time here. We are getting a ton of sales coming in here. This only has 5 left now, but if you use New Year 30, if you use that discount code at checkout for the Data Expert Bootcamp, you can get 30% off, and it'll be good. And if you use on CS50 for a beginner, it's probably a good choice. How can we integrate AI and data engineering together, and what could be industry applications look like on such technologies? Well, if you think about it this way, AI, like generally speaking, updates very slowly, right? Because if you think about AI, like the OpenAI, right? They release a new model like every 3 months. So the knowledge of that model is going to be delayed, but it doesn't have to be delayed, right? Because data engineering could inject the new information to cover the gap, to cover the training gap over the next 3 months, so that you can have the more up to date information that you just inject into the prompt. And then you do RAG, right? So then you can have AI use up to date information that you're pulling in from your RAG model, from like either your vector semantic search or your graph database entity search. So if you bring that data in and then you use that in RAG, you'll be able to have AI models that are trained on old data, say like 3 months ago, but then they can still answer questions on new information from say 5 seconds ago, because you have that data in the lookup tables, right? And so that's going to be the integration point that's going to happen. And that's why I think there's even more here, like from a side of like probably daily is probably still going to be fine, where you update your RAG models and update your freaking database lookups on a daily basis, and then you update your models on like a monthly or quarterly basis. And then that's how those things kind of work together, because RAG can change rapidly, whereas you don't want to like be fine tuning your model every day, right? That's just sounds expensive, right? Where does all your discipline and motivation come from to get stuff done? Well, part of it is just I'm smart and I know what I need to do, right? It's like imagine like you had no fear of doing what you need to do, and you just have no anxiety and you know exactly what you need to do, right? And then it's very clear. Do you still use mostly SQL and Spark for preparing training and testing data for DS to play with? That's going to be, yeah, that's pretty much like the main way that things work, right? You start working at a company as the first data engineer. How would you start providing value to the company as soon as possible? The company can be a startup or small company. It depends on how much infrastructure they already have, right? Because there could be what do I say here? They could have some lightweight infrastructure put in place by the software engineers at the company, like the full stack people. They might already have some information there. So part of it is like you need to just talk with people, right? You need to talk with the PMs and the CEO to understand like what is missing, what is the pieces of the puzzle that like where's the most pain coming from, like from lack of visibility. A lot of times it's around the user model, like the user data model. That's freaking that's going to be the big one that I would say that you're going to want to be looking into. But I would say that's the big one, right? When you were first starting, how did you prepare for live coding interviews? I perform badly during live coding sessions because I have terribly bad memory of Python and SQL syntax. Practice. If you have bad memory, you just haven't done enough reps. I'm sure you remember your name. I'm sure you remember your name. You don't forget your name. And you want to know why you don't forget your name is because someone has been calling you your name every single day for your entire fucking life, right? And my guess is you're bad because you haven't practiced enough. So just go do more LeetCode and get better at Python. Get more fluent in SQL, right? Like I have never failed a SQL interview ever. And when I was first starting out, how did I prepare? Practicing, build projects, do LeetCode, do more reps, right? It's like, do you want a six pack? Do more sit-ups. Do you want to be more fit and have less body fat? Run more and eat less, right? It's like some of the stuff is the solution, right? And it may be for you, maybe you are great at it, and maybe it's an emotional thing. So maybe you need to get better at emotional regulation, because it's actually your emotions are getting in the way of something that you actually have mastered. And in that case, you need to freaking master anxiety management, like breathing techniques. Have you done cognitive behavioral therapy? Those things are going to be the big things I would remember to be doing. It's going to be one of those two. You have a hang up in one of those two areas. It's either an emotional hang up or like you're not working hard enough hang up. So that's what I would say. I'm currently exploring the most effective platform for processing data transactionally. Which platform would you recommend as the best option for this? Postgres, right? So that'd be the main thing. Yeah. Hi, Zach. I'm from Venezuela. I work full time while finishing my degree. Is it possible for bootcamp participants to still access tasks and videos without certification? Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know what you mean by that, but you have a month. If you're talking about free boot camp, you have a month. It's all available. If you're talking about paid boot camp, after a live session, we push up the video as quickly as possible. So we have a live video that is uploaded, right? Done. Zach, have you had an IQ test? I did when I did when I was a kid, because I used to like have a big problem with drugs, right? And they wanted to understand, like, because there's actually a big correlation between like drug use and freaking like IQ and stuff like that. And they wanted to see what was going on. Do you think leak code is needed as a DE? I believe some top companies could ask leak code questions. No shit, they do. No shit. I've only been asked the leak code question in every single interview in my entire life. So that's a perspective. So just every single time. And it's weird that I get asked this question, because like I feel like that should be more known. It's like data engineering is software engineering. It is software engineering. Can you talk a little bit about the paid, or about the mentorship provided in the paid bootcamp? Yeah, sure. So if you get certified, if you go through and you actually put in the effort in the bootcamp to get certified, we will match you with a mentor at the end, and that mentor will help you with whatever you need. Like it might be interview prep, it might be resume review, it might be a referral, it might be like things like that. You get like, depending on how much effort you put in, you get either 4, I think it's like 3 to 5 or something like that, probably 3 to 5 sessions with the mentor for free. So it's good money. And it's free if you actually put in the effort. And so like, that's how my bootcamp works. If you pay with your effort, you get rewarded. I work as a DE for 3 years, but I don't have experience in cloud projects. Lots of shitty projects. Good for you. Perhaps Data Expert can have leak code style featured catered for DE. That would be nice. We actually do have that. So we actually do have that. So, and it's free. You can go to dataexpert.io/questions, and there's 50 leak code questions that you can go through. We only have SQL figured out right now, but we will be adding Python. Would it be a problem if we miss a week of the live bootcamp sessions due to scheduling conflict? No, because you can make it up. Like you can just watch the videos and make it up. So like you can just make up the videos. So like you don't have to watch anything live. Like in the paid bootcamp, you can either watch it live, or you can watch it like afterwards in the recorded session. Why do software engineers get paid more than data engineers on average? They don't. They don't. Let me Google that real quick. Median data engineer salary US. What do we got here? So I see 129,000 when median software engineer salary US. So so the median data engineer salary is $129,000, right? And then the median software engineer salary is a range. It's going to be, and the range is going to be, roughly speaking, about $5,000 less. So you're wrong. You're empirically wrong about this. They get paid roughly the same, with data engineers on average making a little bit more. So that's where like you're wrong about this. You're just flat wrong. That's all. How many hours a week should the paid bootcamp take with homework and projects and live classes? So it's 6 hours a week of live classes. You're going to probably have double that for freaking homework. So that's 12, and probably another 6. If you want to do a really good capstone project, which is like one of the most beneficial parts of the freaking boot camps, is probably another 6. So 18. If you're more skilled and more talented, the homework might take less time. So it's probably somewhere between 15 and 20. It would be probably a good range of what you could expect if you're trying to do all the homework and everything. So, and then it's like for 10 weeks. So you're looking at probably like, not 10 weeks, for 5 weeks, sorry, 5 weeks. And so you're looking at like 100 hours. Zach, have you interviewed with any hedge funds or finance firms? No. Like those companies pay dog shit when you look at per hour, because those companies, they expect 80 hours a week from you. They pay you really well. They pay you like 600, 700K, but then they expect 80 hours from you, right? And it's like, no, I'd rather work 30 hours a week and make 600K at Airbnb. Like, and it's like, oh, I might make 700K at freaking Citadel, but then I have to work twice as much, and then I'm dumb. right? So I don't know. That's my perspective on those freaking hedge fund companies. You work way too much. Should I do DSA too? You should always be doing DSA. If you're not grinding DSA, you're falling behind. Like, just freaking do it. Like, it's not going away. We're going to be doing more of it. So how long after covering a week's material is the homework for that week due? You get 1 week. It's 1 week afterwards. It's due 1 week after. But you have till the end of the boot camp. So in the paid boot camp, I'm a lot more lenient in terms of like all this stuff of like getting certified and whatnot. So like you have 1 more week. Just like in the free boot camp, you have till the end of January, right? How much money do you think you will make during your entire life? That's a great question. That number has been revised a bunch for me because like I keep like finding another way to double, right? Because I wasn't expecting another double from 600 to like to 1.1 or 1.2 mil. I wasn't expecting that double to hit so soon, right? What's DSA? Data structures and algorithms. How can I have more experience in DE projects that use real life problems solutions using cloud infrastructure? Join my fucking boot camp. Okay. Let's see here. But anyways, back to this question, Carlos. Like, so, because I thought when I was like 20, I thought I was gonna make the most I was gonna make was like 200K. 200K was like the max, right? And then big tech changed my mind. Big tech was like, no, you're gonna make 600K or $1 million, right? And then I'm like, okay, awesome. And now it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know where this is gonna go. I think it might go to like 3 or 4, but I also know that like I'm gonna peak, right? There's gonna be like I'm gonna have some very, very, very good years ahead of me. Like the next 5 years are gonna be absolutely obscenely good, and then it's probably gonna slow down from there unless I like pick up something else. And so like from that perspective, maybe like $100 million, I think is probably like a reasonable amount to project. But obviously I'm going to eat a lot. I'm going to eat half of that to taxes, but yeah, should be pretty good. I don't know. Like Azure, GCP, this question is a question I cannot answer because I don't know where you live. So if you're in the US, AWS. If you're in Europe, probably Azure. If you want to be freaking like a niche, then go with GCP. So does DSA has any relation with DE? Yes, data engineering is software engineering. I have said this like 4 times on the live already. Yes. So yes. Like, just understand that data engineers need to be good software engineers too. So if you're a data engineer who's a good software engineer, you're going to make a lot of money. That's how I made a lot of money. That's how I made freaking $3 million as a data engineer in 6 years. So just understand that, like, if you can pull that off, like, you will be doing really good stuff. Just letting everyone know, we are almost out. There's only like 3 left here, but we have the Data Expert IO New Year 30. So if you want to get 30% off, you can get 30% off the bootcamp, and I highly recommend checking it out. I can see how to double it. Giga Chat answer. It's funny. Loved watching you have folks present capstone projects. Would love more content of you sharing or critiquing DE projects of others. Like, yeah, that sounds awesome. Like, that's awesome. It's just content that I don't have a lot of energy to make. That's all. Because it's like where it's like I like will give a review. It's like, I don't know. I get that there's like that whole reaction freaking space, right? Mr. Beast reacts and all those freaking, and I know it's freaking good content. What skills were the most relevant when you worked at Netflix? Spark, Kafka, Flink, Scala, Iceberg, Hive, Neo4j, Neptune, AWS, Kinesis Firehose, fucking VPCs, and like the whole like just cloud configurations, EC2, setting up EC2s, all that kind of stuff. What else? Spinnaker was pretty popular. Spring Boot, also pretty popular. What else was there? I think that those are the big ones. What would you advise to approach DSA for beginners? Just do LeetCode or take a foundational course? Just take a foundational course. If you've, better yet, get a computer science degree. How about that? Just go to 4 years, go to school, grind it out, get a computer science degree, be like everybody else, and don't try to take shortcuts and just do the work. I don't know. Like, I don't like. You got to understand, a majority of software and data engineers are going to have computer science degrees for the foreseeable future. The whole perspective of like, you can learn anything on the internet for free, and guess what? You can get a job is kind of a freaking, like, that's true if you're a gifted human being, right? But like for most people, like that's going to be the way to do it, right? McDonald's workers will probably be making millions when you retire because of inflation. The dollar is a poor metric long term. I mean, honestly, fair. Is Java and Scala still essential for someone less than 3 years in the market? It depends on what you're trying to do. Do you think Scala is going to keep strong in DE? Yes. Like, I don't know. Like, it's like, I hate this question because guess what? Yes and no. The answer is yes and no. Will the adoption get less over time? Yes. Will there be companies that are still using it a lot? Like, for example, at Airbnb, right? You had to write Scala pipelines. It was required, right? You couldn't use PySpark. You had to use Scala. And I made $600,000 a year writing Scala pipelines last year, right? I guess like 2 years now, like less than 2 years ago. Less than 2 years ago, I was making $600K writing Scala pipelines. So is that going strong? Yes. Netflix, also lots of Scala, right? Spark is native in Scala. So if you want the best performance from Spark, you have to write Scala code. Python will always have a drawback because you have a translation layer for Python to Scala, right? You have to have that translation layer, which will always have some sort of penalty. Can a novice without any background in DE, how difficult would it be for a beginner? Very fucking difficult. If you have Python and SQL knowledge, you would be good. But like, if you freaking have no Python and no SQL and you're just random man on the street, you're not a fit. What else we got here? Would also second Zach's notes on homework. The bootcamp can be very challenging, so prepare as much as you can. I wouldn't advise holding the homework for the whole week. Yeah, that's a very good point. Jesse was one of my favorite students in V4. So definitely. So I got like another 10 minutes here, y'all, and then I got to freaking bounce. But if y'all have any other thoughts on what we're doing, remember, please check out this good discount. This is going to be the best discount that you can get on the bootcamp. So you can get 30% off here with New Year 30. There's only 3 left though. Like 7 people have already bought. It's been freaking crazy. You guys are freaking awesome, by the way. Thank you so much for all your energy and excitement for this boot camp and where all this is going. I can tell that it's going to be a good time. Like, but what else? What other questions y'all have? I'm here to answer them. So the boot camp, the paid boot camp, we're going to be covering Iceberg and data lake architectures. We're going to be covering Trino. We're going to be covering Airflow, some data modeling techniques. We're going to be covering Spark on Databricks. We're going to be covering we're going to be covering Snowflake and DBT. There's kind of 2 tracks. You can pick one or the other or both. And what else is there? We have an LLM week. We also are doing a real-time week. There'll be a week that is completely covering like Kafka and Spark streaming and real-time analytics and all that stuff. And we're going to be covering how to set up Kafka consumers and Kafka producers and all that kind of stuff. So is Bitcoin overhyped? A little bit. I think Bitcoin, I don't know, like it's what it's at freaking like, I don't know, like when everyone was like freaking so happy, right? Any discount for the monthly sub, you can use the same code for monthly sub. Do live bootcamp participants get any discounts for ongoing access to the data expert platform after the bootcamp? So you get 1 year of access after the bootcamp. So you get 1 year of access. And I will be doing other bootcamps over the next year. And you get access to that material too for free. And then going forward, if you want to join any other subsequent bootcamps, you can join any future bootcamp for 50% off. So if you join this one right now, you can join any future one for 50% off. You get a better deal than people who have not bought. So there's someone like I have a couple of people who have bought they bought V4 Analytics Bootcamp and now they're buying January boot camp as well. So like that's like 3 boot camps, and it's like freaking just like soaking up all the information. Yeah. Hey, thanks for the video. Since your last one was in January, any chance we could get the free boot camp extended to the end of February? Definitely not. Okay. Any resume tips to get calls? Just make sure your resume format isn't terrible and it has a freaking good amount of keywords in it. Did you also work as a solution architect at one point? No, never was a solution architect. I was a data architect at Airbnb, which is kind of similar, but why would anyone want to join multiple boot camps? Well, they're different, right? I mean, V4 was covering a lot of like Spark and infrastructure stuff. Analytics engineering bootcamp was covering a lot of Snowflake, DBT, analytics stuff, right? And then this one they're all different, dude. It's like it's not like the material is. You gotta understand. Like I cover different material almost every single time. Right. That's the thing. That's why my boot camps are successful and why I can release a bunch of shit for free. Right. Is because I just keep making new material and I keep making better and new and bigger material. Right. And I just keep iterating and making my content better. And so definitely Isaac, your course has been very helpful in deepening my understanding of data engineering. Will your free course remain available or will there be any changes? So till January 31st. I'm a DE, 10 years of experience. My organization is using Spark, but I don't think it is required. That work can be done using pandas. My organizations are doing that. Why? Many organizations are doing that. Why? Because it will scale up and they think that they need it. It's similar to like why there's a million companies that are using LLM right now that don't need to be using LLM right now. 100%, millions. And like Databricks is very good at marketing, right? Very good at like brainwashing people into thinking that they need Spark, right? Yeah. What was your source of information when you started working as a DE? How did you learn DE yourself? On the job. Because guess what? Data engineering didn't really exist when I started, right? It's only been around for like 12, 13 years. Like I did not read any books. I just learned from the people on my job. I believe you said you worked as an analyst once upon a time. Do you think this is helpful to becoming a data engineer? Yes, because if you're a data analyst, it allows you to freaking learn more about the business and how to link data to business outcomes and link data to like impact and questions. And that is something that, so data analysts can often make very good data engineers because of the fact that they understand the business on a deeper level. Whereas like software engineers, a lot of the time they understand the technicals, but they don't understand the business quite as well, which can be a minus for them, even though they might be able to build an optimized pipeline that answers a question that the business doesn't need. Right. I noticed you love this hoodie a lot. Is there a story behind it? Yeah, this is when I quit my job. I knew I needed to brand, right? I needed to brand and get and become noticeable. So this is my hoodie, right? This is the hoodie in all my profile pictures. This is the hoodie freaking everywhere, right? So definitely. So let me see here. I can answer probably 1 or 2 more questions here, and then I got to get going. See here. Data Expert IO, New Year 30, get 30% off the subscription or the freaking boot camp. It's a better deal to get it on the boot camp because you get like a lot of dollars off. Zach's boot camps are lit. Yep, I totally agree. I think that we're gonna have a really, really good time here in 5 days. So I think that we're just gonna have just so much goodness and so much power that's gonna come together. We're just gonna get people all rolling here. You know, it's gonna be a really good time, and it's a new year. You know, it's time to like get focused and get serious, right? Is knowing SQL perfectly compulsory for DE or Python or Scala enough? Who are these data engineers that know Scala but not SQL? Doesn't that sound weird to you guys? Isn't that just like, I don't know, like I feel like if you are like a Scala god, like why can't you learn SQL? SQL is easy, right? Yeah, I don't know. What did you do that you were hired as a DE without any experience? I had a computer science degree. I had data analyst experience. I crushed the leak code round. I crushed the freaking the data modeling round, right? So yeah. Would you recommend specializing in something niche like GCP data engineering? Sure, why not? Does it make a significant difference in terms of salary versus someone who is an AWS data engineer? Not really. Doesn't really matter. Like it might like because one of the things you got to understand is that like I have never, ever, ever, ever in a million used GCP. ever, right? But could I learn it in like a week or learn it in like a month? Yes, I could pick it up. Because guess what? Data engineering is the same. Almost, it's like 90% the same whether you're on freaking GCP or you're on Azure or you're on AWS or you're on-prem. It's like the same shit. It's the same shit, right? What level of Python and DSA require for DE? High, just high. Get good at it. Like, don't like. I hate this question because this question is like, what is the least amount I can learn to get a job, right? And like, just understand that that's not how you're going to be successful. You're going to be successful by saying, what's the most I can learn, and how much can I consume? How much can I be consumed by this field? Not what's the bare minimum that I can put in. So that is a perspective for you. Is there any difference between using Spark APIs such as join, group by, and raw SQL commands such as join, group by? No, it's going to be exactly the same because the query plan and like when the driver executes the plan of the data frames, it's going to be exactly the same for sure. You can get some interesting change, like you get a little bit more control with the data frame API by you can use things like broadcast and use these interesting kind of like things to like change the query plan a little bit, like force the query plan to be one way or another. Whereas like with SQL, you have to use thresholds, which is super annoying. But and so that's why I kind of like the the data frame API a little bit. I get Databricks courses about data lakes. What can I add as courses? My bootcamp? I don't know. In your jobs, did you do the design of the data engineering pipelines and data architecture, or purely work on the implementation? It depends on what level you're at, right? Implementation is going to be more junior, right? That's more junior, right? And then as you step up, you're going to be doing more design and more architecture. And then like you get higher up, and then you get further, right? Any plans for free data engineering bootcamp or free AI data engineering bootcamp? Yes, it's in the works. How long is the bootcamp? 5 weeks. 5 weeks. It starts January 6th and it goes till February. Well, the required material goes till February 7th. And then there's a bonus week on AI. How many data scientists working as data engineers? It's annoying to see writing the pipeline in notebooks. Yeah, just get good at data engineering, and then you can be a data scientist who's also a good data engineer. Do you have any content or plans of content of you doing interview prep with your bootcamp folks? I hate interview prep. I hope you just know that. I fucking hate interview prep. That's just not something that I like. I don't like leak code. I don't like freaking behavioral rounds. I don't like past project rounds. I don't like talking about interviews. I don't like interviews. I don't like freaking doing that stuff, right? I remember you had a goal to get 1,000 data engineers hired by 15th of February. How are you able to track that? Also, I would like to thank you for your time and quality. So part of it is I am going to be asking people. I know I've gotten like in the last like 8 weeks, I've gotten about 175 people hired, mostly through the free content, right? When like, because if someone, my whole perspective is like, if someone gets hired, send me a DM, and if you feel like my content helped you get hired, send me a DM, right? And then that's mostly how I'm tracking it. Thanks, Zach, for sharing your knowledge. Finishing my thesis and has taken basically all my free time, but watching the videos, I'm learning a lot. And being from Venezuela, where I don't make enough for the paid bootcamp, is incredibly valuable knowledge. Yeah, I'm glad that you're taking advantage of it and not asking for an extension. If you're an interviewer, what would you expect as an answer when you were asked to design a data pipeline? It better look good. I don't know. Like, that's a fucking weird question. Like, you should have like good named tables. Like, this depends on the freaking question at hand, not just like generic design advice, right? Like, I would need way more information here to give you a good answer, right? Like, does the pipeline have freaking the right fact and dimension tables? Is it freaking looking good? Like, I have interesting content on this stuff that I could share, but like, I don't know, like, it's a lot of stuff where like you guys just expect a lot of stuff for free that like I want to paywall more stuff actually. I realize that that's one of the reasons why I'm taking stuff down, is I realize that I put too much out, and that there's this kind of line in the sand of like what is considered paid and what is considered free, right? And that's why most boot camps they do 1 week of free content. They don't do 6 weeks of free content. Like, they give like a taster. They do like a 1 week taster. They don't give the whole thing out, right? And I feel like, I don't know, I feel kind of bad about that, because I feel like there's definitely been, it's a mix, right? Because I also understand I'm changing people's lives, but I also know that I hurt my business. Like, it's both, right? Because I know that there's definitely people who are like, okay, cool. Like, because those 175 people who I got jobs, right? And they paid me $0, right? It's like, cool, awesome, congratulations, that's great, right? But it's like, are they going to help me? Probably not. They're probably just gonna go be a data engineer and forget about me, right? So, is there any chance that you are going to remove the free bootcamp bids from YouTube? Yep, at the end of the month. So you better screen record and pirate them, right? So, yeah, I can answer 1 or 2 more questions here, and then I'm out. Make sure to take advantage of that discount. There's 2 left now. So put that up one more time. Go to this link here, dataexpert.io/New Year 30. You can get freaking 30% off and join the bootcamp and get a good deal. So we got 2 more days of doing this before all the before the boot camp, the paid boot camp. What am I trying to say here? My brain is dead as fuck. The paid boot camp enrollment ends, because it starts in a couple of days, and we want to have a smooth enrollment. Whereas before, like, I used to like take enrollments all the way to the day of, and like freaking, it's not good to do that, because it makes freaking things get so chaotic, because you have like 3 or 4 people who get like rolling in at the end. Right. But okay, I mean, it's kind of slowed down here, so I think I'm gonna probably kill the stream. But anyways, I hope y'all have a fantastic new year. Happy New Year, everybody. Right. What kind of paid subscription for software or services do we need to do the bootcamp? Nothing. You get an AWS key. You get everything for free. Right. You get to join the Astronomer. You join Astronomer. You join AWS. You get all of it for free. Does the monthly Academy membership include the free bootcamp videos? Sure, it includes way better videos too. Like way better videos, like ones that are not shit. Like I've filmed all of the same content, but in the cloud with Trino and Iceberg, and it's better. It's just much better content. So yeah, 100%. Like, and like you'll love. I got way better at presenting over the year and a half that I've done this stuff too, right? So I've learned a lot about like how to like teach better. So you'll like that content. My presentation skills are better as well in the paid material. And yeah, I will add the free bootcamp to the monthly membership. Sure, we'll do that. So awesome. I hope y'all have a fantastic day. It's been a good first day of the year.